I show it because, though meant in fun, Captain Jack makes pirating appear good, and traditional authority appear silly.
Travis Wingate, so. I hope I remember to put Gong's old leaked video of him claiming that Pirates of the Caribbean was a horrible movie because it disparaged the authoritarian government of England during the 16th century. And it's horrifying that he then became an apostle after that video. America was founded on insurrection, overthrowing authoritarianism, the monarchy of King George III. And so growing up as an American, growing up in the Mormon church, going into the Boy Scouts, becoming an Eagle Scout, Citizenship in the Nation badge, knowing that the Constitution is believed by the church to be divinely inspired by Jesus Christ himself, and then to watch as my church has betrayed and deceived me, as they are the enemy, wanting to reestablish the 17th century monarchy that our founding fathers 100 years later rose up to overthrow and establish a more perfect union under an experimental system that has never been fully implemented. I've watched as our news media take sides depending on who the president is, so that when it's a liberal president, conservative media are the ones speaking out and warning of the dangers, the corruption of that president. But then when a conservative president is in, it's the liberal media's turn to expose the corruption and crimes of that president. And I'm not talking about Obama wearing tan. My God. No, I'm talking about Obama covering up with what was going on in Afghanistan. Obama solidifying indefinite detentions. Those things that the liberal media don't cover. And yeah, his citizenship status with the birtherism, that's all crap. See, it's that kind of nonsense that causes the distrust in information. If the press were to focus on reporting the news, not reporting their opinions, not having table discussions about how they're outraged, just report the facts, cover the news. And that was done with the riot, for the most part. I saw the clip of the QAnon woman who had been shot and had died. as she was being wheeled out on a gurney. The one EMT was on top of her, given CPR. And now to hear that the rioters also had broken in and damaged the Constitution itself. And it kind of hurts, because as a Mormon, I did what the church asked of me in Mormonism. I studied Mormonism. I wasn't satisfied with my discussions with born-again Christians about, well, we'll find out when we're all dead. A cop-out excuse. I wanted to know if Mormonism was true, not just feel it's true. So I did the work, I got the answers. And so yes, the Book of Mormon is true. But Mormons don't like the truth that I found. That it's encoded, that it warned of the attack on America, starting with the puppet president in 2017. That's not what Mormons want to hear, because it doesn't correspond with their feelings from their lack of doing any effort to find out the truth. I found out that Joseph Smith was not the author of the Book of Mormon either. And that comes as a shock to ex-Mormons, because everybody in the ex-Mormon community, except for those who did the work to find out it was Sidney Rigdon who wrote the Book of Mormon, are still perpetuating the lie that it was Joseph Smith. And they mock and make fun. Oh, he used rocks in a hat to write the Book of Mormon. No, none of that is true. Yes, he did have a hat with rocks that he put in and claimed to be a glass looker. He was arrested for being a glass looker. It was a misdemeanor offense, and he was charged $2.68, which back then probably was $50,000. But, I don't think this disc was put in properly. It's not sounding right. Cancel. Oh man, it's gonna... Come on. And so I fully support the Smiths, but Mormons disapprove of my manner of approving of the Smiths, because it's not according to their feelings. And so despite my being Mormon, born and raised, my having been obedient, studying the scriptures, studying church history, having deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, having deciphered Egyptian petroglyphs, saying, oh, yeah, I see how Joseph Smith rendered his translations. He's actually a translator. He had to learn, but I see how he did it. And his involvement with York rites, with the Knights Templar, the Holy Grail, and Egyptian treasure plates. Yeah, I see how all that fit in. But Mormons are upset. And the only conclusion that we are now witnessing, and will be able to look back in history, is that the Mormons who are sticking with the church know they are the enemies who plotted to overthrow America. That's the only conclusion I can come up with, that Mormons are the enemy. And they were purposely weeding out those of us who did not want to participate in the overthrow of this nation, the destruction of the Constitution, and the implementation, the return, the restoration to authoritarianism. And that's horrifying for me, having been born and raised in the church. And so what do I do now? Because those enemies work for YouTube. You can see their thumbs down. You can see the attacks that I'm faced with. I don't know how to word my videos to get people's attention anymore. YouTube's analytical program has shut that down. Because on the older channel, before it got shut down, I was figuring it out. I was getting the attention. And so the attacks against me had to intensify. But now YouTube figured it out and are literally silencing me. And aside for the freak appearances on New Year's, I can't figure out why people are selecting those particular videos, but regardless, I have no idea now how to title my videos, the content to discuss, because of the censorship and the assaults that I'm faced with. And I do fear a full democratic government, because this is what happened with World War II. Nazism rose up, it then got out of control and forced a world war. And then fascism lost, and so communism spread throughout all the world. From one corrupt government to another. And that's what we're facing here in America. Fascism rose up, got out of control, and we are looking at a complete takeover by communism. Under communism, we can look to China. They will implement the surveillance technology, the social appropriate laws, and we've saw it with the Me Too movement, where instead of correcting the justice system, we allowed accusers to destroy people's lives. This is what communism will do. There won't be justice. It'll be social justice. It'll be the cancel culture that rises up to denounce people and ban people. And so it'll be a different attack than what we've been faced with the last 4 years. But it will still be an attack. I have no confidence that as an LDS critic that I will then be given special privileges to have a voice on YouTube again. If you look at my skin, it's pasty pale white. Thanks to my West African ancestry, though, all I need is a little bit of sun, and I don't get sunburned. If I do, it would be the first time around, but thereafter, no. So that's an interesting curiosity of my DNA. But yeah, the Democrat communists segregate differently than conservative fascists. And theirs is more of elevating those who have been oppressed under white supremacy and thus discriminating against those with white skin and male and heterosexual, if you see where that's going. They see me as the enemy, and I've done nothing wrong to them, just as I've done nothing wrong to the church, but the church sees me as an enemy, all because I'm a translator and they're not. They knew I would expose them, and even though I was clueless at the time, innocently going to the church saying, "Hey, Joseph Smith is a true translator. Isn't this awesome? Church is true." They attack. So as one who grew up as a patriot to America, as one who knew to put the people before government, before corporations, before party, I am concerned. And there's nothing I can do about it.